I'm hoping I had the breakthrough I was looking for. I'm still processing. I could tell just by how my life has been going the last couple weeks that something's off. So I tried journaling. I tried to travel. I got sick. You know, you know what I was thinking is this is how you know I was lost. Is I was thinking maybe I should just have like a night out with my old friends and go drink, go numb myself, as if that would help anything. Because I wasn't figuring out what I'm supposed to figure out, and I had you know, I had obviously my energy's messed up. I have anxiety. I have pain. So trying to figure out the pain. You know what I noticed watching these is I always move my left eyebrow and never my right. That's a very strange thing to notice. So other things I noticed because the purpose of journaling is to hear yourself. Video journaling. So it's me talking to my unconscious, me having conversation with me, the smartest person I know. So in my last, I don't know, couple, I was talking about like in my relationship, what she's doing, projecting and manifesting low vibrations and blah, blah, blah. And of course, I can see that because I'm the one who's doing that. It was me. That's why they say relationships are mirrors. And I feel so stupid because this is what I tell everybody. What you see in others is what you see in yourself. So if you think your partner's a narcissist, it's because you are a narcissist and you can't see it in yourself. It's invisible to you. And here I am. What's the fucking secret? I was like I could teach a class on projection and on like unconscious manifestation of hell, a low vibration. And here I am fucking doing it to myself. I feel so dumb. I feel so dumb. But now as I'm thinking about it, it's like obviously that is the case because the house I grew up in, blah blah blah. I could, I am the sum of my experiences. And of course, like knowledge of yourself is what frees you. So I can look at my parents and see what they don't know about themselves. That seems super clear to me. But then I also absorbed and am part of them. So I have the same things that they have. If I didn't work on it, I have it. And just because I read books and watch spiritual shit and it's still elusive. It's still so hard to uncover. I can move this one too. I don't know why it doesn't move. What's interesting is this shoulder sits higher, and I always wonder, am I like pulling it up? Um, let's lean this way. Let's all of us in here. Um, the voice in your head. Do you say we? Do you say you? Do you say I? Let me know in the comments. Don't tell me I don't care. Um, so I'm sitting here thinking, like I'm innocent and I know all this stuff, so it's not me. Um, and of course, like it's no matter what, it's your universe. So you're projecting reality. So if you see it, you're creating it. If you see it in the other person, you are creating it. You manifested that person in your life, you manifested that situation in your life, you are doing it. You, us, are doing it. So everybody projects reality, right? So you can tell what people are thinking because they'll tell on themselves. And I find it so easy to read other people, but I'm still the enigma. So like what example can I give? Um, what's really annoying me is I did the laundry and I forgot it was in there. So I left it for a long time. And then when I went to do more laundry, I was like, shit. And then obviously it smells like mold. So I wash it again and it still smells. And then I put white vinegar and it still smells. And I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. Just throw it all away? Just start fresh. I'm going to like lock the door, walk away from this house and start a new life. I'm fucking over it. So this is how I'm thinking about it. Is I'm processing it as I'm going. So I was on the phone with a friend yesterday, and I was talking about what's bothering me, and then doubting. Like I was thinking, what was the point of my last relationship? If it ended badly, and there's like what there had to be a purpose to it. Like when you're drawn to something, your subconscious mind knows something that you don't know. So whether you say that's God or yourself or your higher self or Buddha, Krishna, Brian Boitano, whoever, like you're being led to something, and it was killing me that I couldn't figure out like what was the point of this? Why did I have such a strong draw to someone, and then it ended, and it was just like that's it. Was I just repeating like a lesson I learned earlier? Like it didn't make sense. And I know everything happens for a reason. So it was like, as I'm talking to my friend, I'm like backtracking on like the course of action I was taking, which was to revisit this in my head and in life. It's like, well, to figure this out. And then next to me, I saw the number 3 repeating 4 times 3, 3, 3, 3. And I was like, okay, I don't know what that means. I hate when cars do that. It's really weird that I do that for a living. And this guy going 2 miles an hour has to announce that he's arriving. Um, Pat, pat, pat. Don't worry, his engine will blow soon. Um, what was I saying? Okay, so I see 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and I was seeing it for days 3, 3, 3. So the only other time that I saw 3, 3, 3 that much, I saw it 20 times in a day once, and that was the day I wrote someone a check, someone who wanted money from me, and I held resentment and hatred towards them. I made God a promise that I would write a check if he changed my financial situation materially in a way where I knew it was God, like something out of my hands. It wasn't like a work is better or something like make me comfortable, and I will turn the other cheek and write a check to someone I felt like was abusing me, who used me, who took advantage of me, who you name it. It's a hard thing to do, but it forced me to forgive because I would think that I would forgive, And then I'd be driving down the road and I'd be thinking about the things they said to me and how they treated me and how they manipulated me. And I felt like I would just get angry. And I'm capable of a lot of, bad things. Who isn't? And being capable and having something to lose, your hands are tied. You can't just go punch people in the face. It would feel good, but you can't do it because you know that it doesn't solve anything. Probably would make things worse. So you have to sit with it, and I fucking hate that. I hate having to, like, someone hits you and you don't hit them back. That's a hard thing to do. Turn the other cheek. It is the right thing to do because if someone else does something wrong, God kept score. God will take care of it. But once you hit someone, you've done something. What happens? Someone hits you, then you hit them, and they died. You think your life's gonna go great after that? So to people have temperance and that type of thing is it's a virtue. So I felt like that was the lesson that God was teaching me, that my higher self was teaching me, that was eluding me. It's why I was emotionally stuck, hating people and unable to move on in my life and or create wealth or create abundance in my life. I was holding on to this anger and resentment. It was the only way that I could let it go. And I like neutralized the karma of, they did bad things to me and then I said nasty things to them and about them to other people. And now I can talk about it without naming the names because I know that naming the names is a bad thing to do. I'd be creating negative karma. Assassinating someone's character is the same thing as killing them or attempting to. So I can't say it's this person at this address and this is what they do for a living and this is why fuck them. Because then I'm giving you the ability to hate somebody. And that was a hard thing to learn. I had to do it over and over again and experience the negative karma to be like, okay, what's happening? So the day I knew to write the check, I saw 333 20 something times, like all day. I was like, okay, this has to be the message. This must be the time to write the check. I wrote the check. I don't know if there was like a significance to the timing, but I had made a plan and I didn't follow through yet. And I was like, this must be telling me to do that. And then when I looked it up, like at the time, what I saw was 333 had something to do with your divine union, your twin flame journey, whatever. It's a journey, right? It's not like not necessarily a specific person. You got to kiss a couple frogs before you get to the princess. Um, so I wrote the check and I was able to let go of the resentment and I was able to move on with my life and my life got a lot better. And from my perspective, not that this is what I wanted, it didn't seem like things turned out well for them. Um, so I really haven't seen 333 show up that much since then. It was years ago now. And now for days I was seeing it, then on the phone I'm seeing it, and I don't know what the number means. I didn't know this one. Like 111, new beginnings, obvious. 999, end of a cycle, obvious. I think 999 has a negative connotation because you're afraid of something ending, but like 9 months to make a baby, right? It's like, is anyone sad when they're not pregnant anymore? It's like, is it that phase is done and now there's a new thing? Could be a, good growth thing, a stage. So, you shouldn't hate 999. So, I'm seeing the number, and then when I see it in context when I'm in thought, because I'm always in thought, I'm trying to figure out what does this mean? And I only have the reference of this other time I experienced it, and it didn't make sense to me. And I of course like when when I see something symbolic, I try to look it up and see what it says. What is the archetype? What is the common meaning of this? So I can try to conceptualize why I'm seeing it, why I'm creating this symbol in my universe to tell me something, or why my subconscious mind picks up something that's it was probably ignoring a lot of things and just picking up what I need to see. Like, hey, look here, look here, look here, or hey, you're safe, or hey, you're on the right track, or hey, change your direction, whether that's thought or physical direction. So I start looking it up, and then it says something about creativity, which is like, I'm not creative, fuck off. It has nothing to do with that. It said something about self expression, also fuck off, nothing to do with that. And then I saw like on a Reddit post, someone posted a link to some like it was like an astrology website, but it was like a long description of what 333 or 4 threes mean. 4 threes just increases the power of the three, right? So starts with talking about the Trinity and the divinity of three, and I was fuck, waste my time. And then one paragraph was like, you put something in motion, you put plans in motion, it's time to see it through. Like, follow through with that plan because it will lead you to where you need to go. And I was like, this makes sense. This makes sense. Also, in like 1, 2, 3, 4, like, keep fucking going, right? So 222 means like you're on the right track. So even if you don't see results, keep going. Like it's a symbol of encouragement. So 3 would be more encouragement, right? And then it means like don't turn around. Time to keep going. So I did something and then I was like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I shouldn't have sent that. Maybe I should. Maybe. And thinking that I was mistaken. You know, like the connection was like imagined. Doubting that there was like a divine reason for the relationship or for the heartache or for the lesson or for the whatever the fuck the thing is. And then that's when I saw the threes. So like, okay, fine. And I have been seeing 777 a lot, which is spiritual evolution. It also symbolizes completion. 7 days is when how many days God created the fucking whatever universe. Um, 7 days in a week. 7 heavens. Other things. Um, so it's like a spiritual completion, or you know what I mean. So I was like, okay, I'm on the track to discover something spiritual, and it helps talking to someone who understands this stuff or is on the spiritual path themselves, because at least you're talking to someone who's receptive to it and can listen. So if I called like one of my guy friends, like, okay, so I'm seeing this number and blah blah blah, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Um, you don't see numbers everywhere. It's just women. I don't know why that is, but I don't know many men on the. I know one, but he's like just starting. So I realized that what I'm seeing in my relationship was what I'm doing. I recognized like you're doing this, and I was really talking to myself. So I remember we had like it's personal, but we had like an amazing night. It felt like this is this is it. I think we both thought that. Like I've never felt like this before. This is what I've been waiting for. Like you're it. You look like it, and now I know you're it. And then like we held each other tightly the whole night. Even when we held hands, it was like I never felt more secure. I never felt more, you know what I mean? Like I have a tendency to talk myself out of everything. And that night was like, I hope every day is like this. And the next day, I'll tell you what happened. The next day, I decided that I was wrong. So I created the situation, I created the reality to ensure that I was right. And then every day subsequently, I was like, oh, see, doomed. Doomed as I knew it, doomed as I predicted. In reality, we went to we went to a Vegas pool party, and I'm sober, and I'm whether I'm on the spectrum or an introvert or whatever, it's not somewhere I want to be. There's a lot of drunk people. Like that water is disgusting. You know, it's milky. It's like cloudy water. You shouldn't go in it. And then I see there's a like when it starts, there's like the table next to us has a really drunk British guy, and British people can't handle their alcohol. The world hates them. If you're a drunk Brit, do everyone a favor and quit at 10 beers. It's fine. You won't die. Um, so I could see this guy's a liability. And I have someone with me that I'm going to protect. And I had like friends with me as well. And at some point, this guy starts splashing my friends. So I didn't make a decision. I don't remember like deliberating, but I don't even how I don't know how I got access to him. I just grabbed his hand and I was like, "Stop! You're splashing people who don't want to be splashed." And then he's, "Don't what?" And then pretending he's gonna come out and fight me. I'm like, "All right, come out, let's see." Which I shouldn't be doing, and also like I recognize that he's a liability. I could have let everything go. I didn't feel safe. I felt cagey. And then I I couldn't relax. I couldn't relax. It was a nightmare being there for me. You have to be drunk in those places. You have to be drunk. Just don't fucking go. I could have gone to the regular pool. It's my bad. My bad. Also, like what I talked about, spiritual places. I see the symbols inside these clubs and shit. At Tao Beach, it's Medusa. It's like, are these good symbols? Triangles everywhere. So I, you know, if this gentleman is an energy vampire, I gave him my energy. And of course, later on, we apologized. He like came up to me and apologized. It's fine, whatever. But he, I was in the headspace of hell. And then guess who I took it out on? You did it. It's your fault. And like I guess I mean, if you're ashamed of how you behaved, I guess you learned something. So it wasn't me, it was Patricia. It it's like there was no reason for me to be as upset as I was at all. Like I should have had a handle on it. And then regardless how anyone acts, like I realized that me seeing that the guy's a liability, I was waiting for it. I made it happen. And then and then turn my sights to my girlfriend, and I'm like, this is, you know, your fault. So went from having like the most amazing like night of our lives to feeling like, well, like the feeling was I've made a mistake. Obviously, this was going to end. I was dreaming and we're not compatible. And that was the vibration I was sending out for the rest of the relationship. So anything that happens, I'm like, oh, you didn't say bless you when I sneezed? Fuck you forever. I knew this was wrong. You'll never figure it out. So like my my thought is I've learned how to raise my vibration. Like it's your thoughts, right? And then I'm thinking like I'll teach her how to raise her vibration. And then all I did was revert to like an old version of me and then fuck her vibration up. Like I suppose that I saw some kind of spiritual things like, oh, the star seeds or chosen ones, like once you get out of hell, your job is to go back into hell and get other people out. Like you go back into the matrix. And fuck me, does it feel like that? Because like things that I've already learned, things that I feel like I was past, all of a sudden I realize I don't know how many times I've documented this, but there's so many times where I repeat the same lesson and have to learn it a slightly different way. Like forgiveness. I had to learn it like with interpersonal relationships. I had to learn it with parents. I had to learn it with business. There's just like different facets of it until you actually master it. So I'm looking at someone I love and I'm thinking negative things, and of course she's picking up that vibration. So why would she open up and feel safe and whatever? I'm not a safe place. I bait and switched her. It's fucking me. Wow. It's such a weird thing to realize because all the answers were up here, and somehow like I was telling myself to figure this out. This is a bizarre thing to experience. It's like I know that I was being led to understand this, and nobody in the world could say like she was actually telling me. So I mean, the whole time she was telling me it's my fault, but that's not new, is it? Every woman is always telling me it's my fault. But he who blames himself uh, is halfway there. He who blames no one has already arrived. So, just being able to smile, like, how long has it been? See my teeth more in this last 28 minutes than how many of these? This is what has been irking me. I have been in autopilot, being unconscious of how I'm creating my reality. And I was creating hell. So, like, if the perfect person comes along and you're not healed, you'll fuck it up. You will turn it into hell. This is going to be personal. I think my parents did that. They are complete opposites. They never got along. It's a lot of fighting every day. Saw them hold hands one time my whole life. And I was like, don't do that. It's disgusting. Yell at each other. Someone punch her in the face. That's how you show love, right? That's normal for everybody. Um, you never did that. I was being funny. Um, but it, like, to be honest, it felt like that would happen. I felt as a child I didn't know if that was going to happen. You don't know. Titans are fighting. You think someone's going to die. So I'll have to call the police. I'll have to. You know what I mean? I don't know. I was scared when my parents fought. Until you get used to it, then you kind of check out. You disassociate. So whatever autism stuff that I have came from that. Thanks, mom and dad. But recently, like this year, I was thinking that both of them have on paper great lives. Their inability to communicate and love each other properly and show love and receive love and blah 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 was what the problems were. Of course, they had different interests and blah blah blah, but I think that God put those people together. I think that it was meant to happen. Despite how awful it was and felt, like, my mom is religious. She has like a moral, there's a moral stopping point that my dad didn't have. So she kept him. She had the bowling arena bumpers up. She wasn't nice about it. You know, she enforced she enforced by force. It's like, mom, let dad drive drunk. It's fine. You know, just stop yelling. Everybody hates that, mom. But she was right. Don't drive drunk, dad. Your family's in the car. Fuck. Like the things you realize later. Don't tell my mom I thought she's right. It'll go to her head. But like I don't know if my dad would have made it if it wasn't for my mom. And then also I don't know if my mom would have made it if it wasn't for my dad. You know, they necessarily needed each other. He's he's hard work. Like he's very, despite not having a belief system, he's very principled and he's very regimented. And he's the he's you can never call him lazy. You can call him any word in the dictionary. Lazy's not in it. Um, and he did what he was good at, which was making ends meet, working hard, engineering, math, management. He did those things really well. So he wasn't doing the things that my mom wanted him to do because he was doing what he's good at. And then there was always like, come home, there's a fight. This kid hit that kid, fuck him up, punch this one in the face. He said something mean. There's no punching in the face. Um, it's too late to take me away from my family, anyways. So I could make it up now, and no one would know. Um, but the big mistake, obviously, like being a child in a house where there's a lot of this fighting, and that's what I know. So every time I fall in love, it'll turn into that because I'm going to create that. Even if the person's not sick, I will make them sick. And of course, when I'm not in a relationship, I'm not like that. I learned that my Venus sign, which is my love sign, is in Aries. And Aries is the god of war. And like as I was reading the description, it was like fall in and out of love fasts. Fuck, am I just completely, everything is just dictated by the stars? How do you evolve past that? How do I not do that? Because I was in my head this whole time. I would live through the whole thing, right? I was living each day trying to self-analyze as I'm fucking things up. As I'm fucking things up, I couldn't convince myself to be happy in the moment. Which to like, even if it's the wrong person and blah blah blah, there's no reason. There's no reason to ruin every day of your life together. You should be happy all the time. I had like a brief period of time where I was happy, a month and a half, happy every day, and I've been trying to get back to that. I got I got to that place on a mushroom trip, and I was like living in a utopia, euphoric. I was like, I escaped the matrix. I was like, I could just have the clothes on. I didn't even need clothes. It's like, let me be naked in the fucking woods. I'll be fine. I don't need this. Nobody has anything on me. I don't need anything from you, from you, from you. Fuck everybody. Fuck the government. Fuck. And then I was so happy that I thought, like, oh, you know who's not unhappy is my ex. When she tried to come back, I was like, okay, now I'll give you happiness. That's how this works, right? And then if someone only knows how to live their way, live their type of unhappiness, what do you think's gonna happen? So I basically lost my since that time I haven't been as happy. But I because I reached it at one point, I know it's there. I know I'm capable of doing it. Just haven't done it for some fucking reason. I always convince myself every single day, and I know how it works. I know you fake it till you make it. I know you have to have positive thoughts to get every book that I read, every spiritual practice, positive thoughts, good words, good deeds. I preach it to anyone who's willing to listen, and especially to people who aren't willing to listen. I want them to hear it the most. Hey, shut up, listen to me. Did you know that you're unconsciously manifesting in the fucking worst? You only get out of this life what you think you deserve, so actually you should be embarrassed for complaining. It's not God doing it, it's you, bitch. And then here I am. I'm the bitch. The human psyche is a fucking horrific place. You have to peel all these layers back. Who the fuck am I? What am I? What is this? Why am I here? So I uncovered something, obviously, big. That's a huge thing. Now, where do we go from here? We, all of us. Where do I go? Like, how do I? Okay, if I'm aware of it, is that enough? Do I find out when I'm in a relationship again? If I'm going to self sabotage? If I'm going to find an excuse to be unhappy? If you allow any reason in the world to be unhappy, if you allow anything, if this happens, I'll be unhappy. If you give one virus access through your firewall, then you will find anything to be unhappy about. You cannot allow anything to take your happiness. I remember, this is another thing like I want to get to. Grad night of high school. They lock all the kids in a place so they don't drive drunk and kill themselves the night they graduate high school. So I was there with like, you know, the entire high school class minus a few friends who didn't go for some reason. It was casino themed. It was at the Grove of Anaheim, and I guess they were recording the whole thing. Like they were like it was as if it was like a Hollywood thing. There was cameras at the entrance. I didn't realize. I thought it was props or something. And me, the shy, reserved, blah 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 blah, I was dancing my ass off. There's pictures of it somewhere. I was dancing the whole time. I was bringing other people to dance. No one, especially me, knew that I could dance. At one point, someone grabbed me and was like, "Where did you get alcohol?" I was like, "I don't know. I've never drank in my life." He's like, "I can see it in your eyes." Like my eyes were dilated, but I was just happy because school was over. I didn't have anything to cause me stress. I was like, I didn't need to think about what the next step was. I didn't need to think about homework. I was just the first time it was free. So I'm like grabbing other people from like the craps table. I'm like, come dance, come from being my dad. Um, so I remember grabbing this guy. I was like, come dance, and then he ran into one of his girlfriends, and I was like, hey, come dance with him. And she's like, what? Fuck you, asshole. What? And then normally, especially like in high school, like that would ruin your life, ruin your day at least. And I was like, I'm saying dance with him, and like you guys are friends. What kind of reaction is that? You cunt. I hope you die today. I didn't say anything. I was just like, I'm not gonna let her. I just immediately was like, I'm not gonna let her ruin my night. Out. It was how it should be. Should how anyone who's ever bothered me, it should have been handled that way. They get a drunk guy in the pool, like whatever. It should be like that. You should not allow it real estate in your head. And I had the best night out of everybody. Out of everybody there, I had the most fun. Period. Now the embarrassing part is I heard from somebody a year younger than me that when the next year was they were showing those kids why they should go to Crat Night. Someone was like, "Yeah, the commercial for Grad Night was just videos of you dancing." So somewhere there's a stick figure version of me dancing to Genie in a Bottle or whatever the fuck was happening at the time. I don't know. 2003. I'm a genie in a bottle. Was Lil Jon out yet? I don't know. But like I would say, my dad is like that in every social event. He doesn't need alcohol. He's just like that, and it's a decision you make. You can just turn that on. And because I have the ability to convince myself out of being happy, I allow myself to not live, smile, have fun, love. Robert Edward Grant said, "We're here to learn how to love and be loved." And fuck me, am I bad at that? At least in the moment. It's always in retrospect. I'm always like, I forgive and love everybody. I just, the way I'm wired is a specific type of fucked up that is difficult for, like, this is my challenge in this life. Is to, now that I'm aware of it, I can't forget about it, so I'm telling you. And I have to catch myself. So that girl saying, yeah, fuck you, asshole, is like, there's a voice like that in my head that I allow real estate. And then I'm like, well, I'm not happy now. You didn't predict my needs, so I'm not happy. It's pretty stupid. So like that, I've like, oh, I'm here. It feels English. Something in here. Journaling first helped. It was the first time I felt a little bit better because it's what I need to do to figure the shit out. But now it's like, oh, okay. All the all the bad thoughts that you spiral and like convince yourself or whatever. It's like, okay, shut the fuck up now. I know it's like I picked up a demon. It was whispering thoughts in my head and saying knows everything to say to make me be like, oh fuck, you're right. Oh no. Is that what's happening? They say you are not the thinker. You are the observer of your thoughts. It's like when you have anxiety and there's what if this, what if that, what if she's doing this behind your back, what if blah blah blah. You have to hold on, who's that? Who's saying that? What if this isn't gonna work out? What if? Why be an asshole? Why does that excuse, you know what I mean? Why ensure that's the only possible outcome? Well, I was right about it. Is that, you mean you can still be happy until it ends? Let it end, it's fine. But why ruin every day until then? I mean, that's a common sense, but everybody's doing that. I hear how everybody else's life is going. We're all doing it. It's uh, it's really bizarre. So the first time I ever experienced like true happiness was when I was 18. When I don't have memories, I'm sure I was a happy baby. At a certain point, you could see my baby pictures, happy baby, and then there was always like, and it's pretty funny because that explains how the rest of my life went. You see something happened. You know what I mean? Also, I don't know if I said this, but like, I just realized that like, as a baby, I was quiet, so everyone was like, "This is such a good fucking baby," but I was traumatized. Like a, it's like catatonic. It wasn't like how cute and whatever. And that's why I'm super observant and where's where's the danger? What's gonna happen? And then make it happen. Manifest it. You know what helped is I saw a podcast with Robert Edward Grant, and he repeated the same things that I repeat here, and that he said like someone asked him about religions, and then they, what do you think about hell? And he's like, hell is here, but also heaven is here. It's like I say the exact same shit. And then he says, your thoughts basically created. You can create hell. And he's like, two people, twins, same parents, same experience. Like basically, the same things can happen to them, and because their personality is different or whatever, one will be in heaven, one will be in hell. They'll have the same experience, and one will create a trauma, uh, like memory out of something, and the other one it will. Fuck you, asshole. Not today, bitch. No, no, no. Fuck you. No, no, no. I wish I remember her name so I can Google her and see how fat she is. Um, I don't even remember what she looked like. Um, the second time that it happened, deep in adulthood, 35, 36, after like a huge mushroom trip, which only worked because I had a close friend who had no romantic interest. It would just hear all the shit that I had to process. I just had to process out loud. I mean, like ADHD, but I hold it in. So I needed an outlet. It has to come out every now and then. Like if I hold things in, I just become a monster. I have to learn how to just let this stuff out regularly. Otherwise, I become Mr. Hyde. So I got a bunch of stuff out and I forgave everybody. And like, it was like, it doesn't matter. Everything's fine. And every day I woke up happy. And that was the first time that's ever happened. Every day it was like, I had made more money. I had, been in relationships. I had other things going well for me at different times of my life, but I always found a reason not to be happy. And this like 6 week period, I was happy every day, and I was like, fuck, I was doing this to myself. And what's scary is that's years ago. I still haven't been able to convince myself to be happy. I still let it, you know, slip away. It's right here. Happiness is, you can only be happy if you live in the present. If you're thinking about the past or if you're thinking about the future, you're not happy. You can only be happy in the present. And the present is all that exists. The future hasn't happened yet. The past doesn't matter. And I know all this, but how do you act on it? How do you force the happiness? Um, I guess that's the next step is just okay. So like, I don't know what the next thing that's gonna happen is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know who's coming in and out of my life. I don't know, business wise. I don't know. It's fine. Like, I don't actually have. I suppose I was having anxiety about those things, and now letting go. And I'm not worried about it because I know that ultimately whatever is meant to happen for me in my best interest will happen. But in the meantime, my job is to smile and be happy and focus every day on not allowing these repetitive thoughts and patterns to occur, to write new code in this fucking corrupt hard drive. That's all I got to do. And that's like what my job is, so I'm going to do it. I'm gonna. You always think, the funny thing is, you always think happiness is in the future. I'll be happy when I get a job, I get a degree, I get that car, I get that watch, I get that thing. I'll be happy then. There's a difference between dopamine and serotonin. There's no I'll be happy when. It doesn't exist. I am happy exists. And whether you have the car, the job, the degree, the blah, 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 you'll be happy with or without. Otherwise, you're faking it. So, like, I feel happier. I discovered something. I discovered something I thought I discovered a long time ago. I thought I was past. But it's been like an anchor. I could see the results of my life. I have an anchor attached to me. I haven't leveled up in a while. Like, things go fine for me, but it's been a while since I leveled up. And I just need to keep the high vibration. I'm gonna, when I hang this up, turn this off, I am going to look up things on how to do that. See if I can learn any tips or tricks. I know it's all thoughts. So low vibrations, I think, are contagious. Like the drunk guy was in a low vibration, and then who he interacts with, you're going to be boop. In order to interact with him at his level, your low vibration, you will attain a low vibration. High vibration is not contagious. If you're around a high vibration person, you'll want to be around them and you'll feel some of that. It'll come off and you'll absorb some of that temporarily. But what creates high vibrations is high vibrational thoughts. So everything you think about has to be positive. The people that cross your path, the things that you say in your head, the thoughts you have about yourself, about who you are, what you are. The Zen masters have no thought. They're just pure, like you know what I mean, like an animal, like a dog, just squirrel. I don't know how you do that. I wish. See, consciousness is God. Why is it such a burden? The mind of God is a lot. Okay, so time to create heaven. It is time to create heaven. So I'm not going to litmus test is I'm not going to chase anything. I'm going to raise my vibration and let God bring whatever's supposed to happen is going to happen. I'm just here. I'm just going to be here doing my own thing. Being happy. And hopefully learn how to not lose it this time. I'm going to try. I'll report back. See ya.